All right, 217. All right, finally. Take four. I am actually finally moving out of this place. It's been a good long 2 years of my life, which is a good thing because without the 2 years of being paying nothing, living for free, which to you all is okay, but living for free has been a really good help for me. I'd like to, clear the way for a lot of people, and it seems like I do that most of the days. But at the same time, I'm having people come up to me with like weird escalation, and as a Gemini and all, I mean, I have like these little things that tick me off. So, anyways, I have been planning for 2 years of my workout, and on top of that, I've been through a lot of like emotional cycle, and I graduated while living in shelter. So living in a shelter is not easy. The environment of it actually is it's the worst. It's the worst housemates that you can ever find. I mean, you expect that you won't live in a place where it won't talk to you or like cry or yell. Yeah, there are a whole bunch of adults who fucking yell and like cry and do all those baby immature things, but at the same time, I do it too. So, I feel like we're letting go a lot of things. I don't know what happened to each other people, but like it's really hard to like creep into each other's lives. But I've seen romance happen, and which is a good motivation to for the shelter at the very basic. And yeah, see that's really the positive side of like living here. There's been fights, but I mean, there are fights about like you touch my girlfriend. But yeah, it's really hard because like you're living with like all levels of women. So I think we all go through like a memory loss, but that's a good thing. I mean, um, I now know being, as an adult, while living here, I've been an adult for, I feel like I've been an adult for like a whole year. So like my second year, I finally discovered, I have more clarity into my life, and so I'm able to comprehend with other people, a big huge comprehension. I'm gonna tell you, I have been through many fights as well, so it's not a perfect picture for me, but um, I celebrated my birthday for the first time, and it was really nice. I have a different opinion about that now. Um, so yeah. Coming from my corner, I don't know how many people would like to look back on my life, but like every time I feel like I admit something, I feel like the air has changed, so I can breathe a little bit better. I also looking forward for the next coming year or X coming year to actually do more home workouts. I know I get like free leisure pass for a whole year because of low income, and a lot of this is like provided with by the government. So I mean, it's a good thing. I've seen so many on the news that Californian people don't really know where to live, or like Vancouver Olympians don't really know where to live. So, or like people live on a van in a car. Oh, anyways, all that being said, like you gotta keep up with your princess life, like as much as possible. Even if you do face with, or even if you do have like drama that comes down your way, and like you really have to like push people, really like teach people all day long, since you're like you I look like the answer to every white person, don't I? Yeah, you should. I mean, like, I don't encourage that you should conform into like some sort of like yellow skin fucking deal here, or like I had to the biggest part would probably the biggest grand question would be like, how did you get through the question of people asking you, Susan, what? Oh, are you like Chinese? No, I'm not Chinese, but like, how do I get through with it? It's a little different from what like watching you myself, or like watching here. So Um, just lie about it. Lie about it so many times. People will eventually pass through, and they'll get through. So I mean, it's living in a shelter. You really realize that the entity of it is like shared amongst everyone. So like your room is their room. Their problem. Your problem is their problem. Your healing is their healing. And so, in best regards to all, right? That's that's the whole written letter, and like the very basic would be religion and like homelessness, or like loneliness, or like anything of those. Religion goes hand in hand with this type of environment. So like anything like that, even possession, even human pawn, everything is actually living in this type of like environment. So like I fucking downsized so much that I kind of like realized coming back to this kind of life was like coming back to this kind of life, because you're like eluding yourself, right? You're living in a dream, and then you're facing like a reality, and then now you're making it into like a reference video, or like journaling, anything to keep any progress of change. So I mean that's quite a big part. I mean, yeah. So hopefully this is like a huge progress for us all. I mean for me, and like for my heir. So I'm gonna practice being a market vegan. No, I'm not a market vegan. I am totally not a marketing vegan. I'm actually just like continuing to stay with the movement of veganism. So you can shove it up your ass and say it's you're supporting. You're a huge activist of commodity. So I'm a huge one of that one. But like, there's really nothing else that you can live for in this life. Otherwise, the only thing that you can probably live for is probably your kins, you know. So I mean, I have a real tough time, you know, disconnecting from my kin. But that's because like I lost a big one. I lost my mother. My mother was the big one. So I mean, she's the one who's like the one that's behind my mind, how I think and stuff like that. I'm no Tyra Banks, but at the least, my mom has like a weird way of like showing her depression, but I've taken a little kick in the butt, and like, you know, I paid for my consequences and living in ironicism. So it's idiotic on my part, but at the same time, I had to. It's all stuffed in my mind. So I really don't. I can't do much. I can't do much without it. I can't do much without not, or there's no forgetting, and forgiving. There isn't anything like that in my mom's lectures. So I live. It's like a shield that's like always there for me. So it's hard saying goodbye for the longest time. So I finally, you know, months I've finally been so happy away from grief, and just I'm still fresh cut from grief. So it's really nice, and you know, I guess so. But all comes to things being said. Um, yeah. I celebrated Christmas, and I know I got a little bit more. I got a little bit more chubbier since then, but uh, there's not much you can do when you want to keep your level of emotion under control. So, but like, peace out to the big guys. Peace out to like the WEAC ladies who are willing to live here. I mean, experience like a couple of deaths that has happened here. Yeah, that's been really, really, really hard on my breathing skills. Uh, and you know, I also had to learn that you have to stop your life sometimes for other people. And I also learned to accept new people, but like, you know, to continue to teach new groups of people each almost like every few months, or even each week, or even each day. There's like new people, if you find more changes within yourself, people will follow the different patterns with you. So as long as you put it yourself and you exploit more exposure in any form of communication, I think that's the best way to like live. I probably preach this a heck of a whole lot now, so or like it feels like a whole heck of a whole lot. I really can't really just live and make changes all day long. So being in my early 30s, it's like solid. It's like this is how I actually live by my day now. I have nothing else to do but to pursue my passions as well. That this year, but also to get and also to mend mental scars that I may be having, and it creeps up to me like a fucking ghost that taps me on the shoulder and says, "Hey, can you deal with this? I've been holding it off for you. Can you do this for me? Get me out, free me. By the way, if not, then I'm gonna screw you over." I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, paranormal activities, rock on. But like, anyways, yeah. I gotta say, I'm gonna keep up with my ambitions and we'll just go with that, like that. So that's a lot from my chest, and there's just not enough pages that I can be writing in my book. Nah, not book. It's just my journal. and like reading. Yeah, okay, so peace out. And yeah, take it easy and find me when you can.